With traders inside and teachers outside, I reread the student code amidst internal and external threats. Rule 9. The study center will conduct a graduation test at 1350 on the 5th day, determining if students have fulfilled the ultimate purpose of this cycle. All students who fail to graduate successfully will be punished. It's clear that traders can't escape and won't be punished again. This rule is obviously aimed at settling accounts with regular students. What can't traders do that regular students failing to do would result in becoming traders? Only escaping. The real Rule 9 should be, the study center will conduct a reckoning at 1350 on the 5th day, determining if regular students have escaped. All students remaining will join the study center. This is a blatant run. We absolutely cannot stay until 1350 on the 5th day. I remember Lee will ask about the day count tomorrow, Hannah recalled. Right, we still don't know if yesterday's half-day counts as a full day in the training cycle. The morning announcement mentioned the first day of formal study, not the first day of the training cycle. If a night counts as a day, today would be the second day of the training cycle. We discussed until nearly lights out, still unsure how to phrase the remaining 2 questions. We can't waste this opportunity, but not asking is also wasteful. After everything was prepared, I lay in bed and had a sudden epiphany. So far, almost every sentence in the student code has significance. Despite the malicious misdirection and ambiguity, each sentence provides crucial guidance. Rule 5 and 6. Students should listen attentively in class, actively answer questions, and diligently complete homework. No noise-making, horseplay, or running is allowed inside the academic building. These have been verified today as point-deducting rules. That leaves only the last sentence of the code. Rule 7, second sentence. Do not disturb non-teaching staff members as they are not professional and will give incorrect guidance. The first sentence of Rule 7 has been proven false. Students enter the study center with the ultimate purpose of learning and are welcome to ask teachers questions at any time. What about the second sentence? Could it also be false? I suddenly realized that compared to other traps in the code, the first sentence of Rules 6 and 7 was blatantly contradictory, even inconsistent with the tone of the entire code. What if the obvious contradiction in the first sentence of Rule 7 was just a smokescreen? Could the truly important part be the second sentence? With only 5 minutes until lights out, the dormitory was unusually noisy tonight. We lay in bed, listening to the events unfolding outside. The girl next door was desperately banging on her door, pleading to be let in. I'm not a traitor. Really, she cried. How can we be sure? What if you betray us? Came a response from inside the room. Scenes like this played out all over the dormitory until silence fell at lights out. The night patrol monster arrived on schedule. In the midst of intermittent screams and cries, I pondered over the 7th rule. Actually, in this rule, each sentence contains only half a truth. Rule 7, first sentence. The ultimate purpose of students entering the study center is learning, and they are welcome to ask teachers questions at any time. There is an ultimate purpose, but it's not learning. Students are welcome to ask questions, but not anytime or anywhere. How then could I phrase a question to uncover the error in this statement while keeping my intention to escape hidden from the teacher? I fell asleep at some point but was jolted awake when the lights turned on. Yikes! I got it! I exclaimed. Hannah, who had just opened her eyes, sat up and clapped at my sudden realization. Amazing. Not wanting to waste time, I hurried them to the cafeteria at the fastest speed. The digital clock was displaying the correct time again today, and more students had been eliminated. Those with 3 points were completely isolated, while those with 2 or 1 point sat in small groups. I shared my analysis and findings with them. Asking questions to the non-teaching staff would not result in point deductions or death. The second sentence of Rule 7 explicitly stated the consequence of violating it, receiving incorrect guidance. However, I suggest that we follow Rule 6 while executing the second sentence of Rule 7, I said. Suddenly, Lee appeared behind Hannah and Rose. Rule 6, last sentence, each student is allowed 1 question per day. He nonchalantly walked around the table and took the last empty seat. I'll come up with the question. Who's going to ask it? Okay, you come up with it. I'll ask, Rose said, looking at me. Can you help me ask? The teachers are really scary. Then I'll go with Rose to ask, Hannah offered. Lee cleared his throat and proposed his question. The first question, what is 122 plus 128? The second question, how to make cauliflower crispy and delicious. You guys just go ask the cafeteria lady, Lee pointed out, but go one by one, not together. The lady was wiping the edge of a vegetable basin with a discolored cloth. We waited until Hannah and Rose returned from asking before inquiring about the answers. The first answer, 200. The second answer, soak the raw cauliflower in water and then blanch it. Ha! Lee exclaimed excitedly. I knew it would work. Rule 7, first sentence. The ultimate purpose of students entering the study center is learning, and they are welcome to ask teachers questions at any time. There is an ultimate purpose, but it's not learning. Students are welcome to ask questions, but not anytime or anywhere. Rule 7, second sentence. Please do not disturb other staff members besides teachers. They are not professional and will provide incorrect guidance. This sentence seems unrelated to the first, but it's actually a precondition to the first. And since the attribute ultimate purpose is learning has been overturned, this sentence should mean the cafeteria ladies and other non-teaching staff are not professional teachers, so of course, they will provide incorrect guidance on academic matters, but they can be asked about their areas of responsibility for correct results. You're quite impressive, figuring out the correct interpretation of the ultimate purpose on your own, Lee said to us after explaining the rule, to which Hannah suddenly commented, but can we really trust you? I thought back to the name board in the dormitory hall and understood Hannah's implication. I needed Hannah and Rose's help to get this information, but Lee managed it on his own. Was this merely from our single exchange of information? He was definitely not as simple as he seemed. As Hannah voiced her doubts, Lee raised an eyebrow. Ah, the so-called smart people. Lee couldn't be fully trusted. Just as this thought crossed my mind, Lee added, but you can trust me. Can we, though? Today, only 8 people remained in the classroom, including 3 good children. Everyone who had survived this far wasn't simple, right? Not necessarily. If one just follows the rules without delving deeper, they can survive too. But come the final reckoning, we would be forcibly assimilated into good children. The superficial rules are deadly. In reality, the hidden rules are the guide to escape, the reckoning on the afternoon of the 5th day. Every meal is the basis for escape. According to Leah's guess, today should be the third day of the cycle. But can I trust him? A mistake here means death. But you can trust me, Leah's voice echoed in my mind. My thoughts were a mess. It was hard to pay attention to what the teacher was saying on the podium. That is, until I was hit on the head by a piece of chalk. Jack Chin, answer this question, the teacher commanded. The high school level question was no issue for me. After quickly answering, I sat down and resumed my thoughts. Until a good child answered a question incorrectly. I snapped back to attention and saw the teacher's smile widen. Good children should study hard. What happened next left me stunned. The teacher's neck stretched like rubber, her mouth opening unnaturally wide, and she swallowed the good child whole, head first. Satisfied, the teacher returned to her normal state and continued the lesson. The teacher devours good children. This was new information. It's proven that good children are the phantoms of the night patrol monster. Could the teachers and the night patrol monster be adversaries? The bell rang, signaling the end of class. An idea suddenly struck me. Teacher. I hurried after the teacher. I want to ask today's question. Is the last meal before the graduation test more important than the others, so important that it directly determines whether we become good children? The teacher paused for 2 seconds, then answered with a wide smile, yes. My theory was correct. Observing the rules, I realized that after the mealtime at 12:30, the cafeteria doors would open, but students were not forced to leave. Many could stay until 13:50 to attend class. Students could also return to their dorms during this time. Since eating every meal is the foundation for escape, the real escape window is the 80 minutes from after 12:30 until 13:50. The key to escape lies either in the dormitory or the cafeteria. After the recent question, I was certain. It's the cafeteria. I arrived at the cafeteria where my roommates were already waiting. I've decided to trust Li Yi. He hasn't done anything to harm us, I declared. And I've found the key to our escape. I'm with you, Rose said, tugging at Hannah's sleeve. Hannah thought for a moment and then said, I trust you, and since you trust him, I'll trust him too. When Li Yi arrived, I called him over. From now on, the four of us are in this together, I said seriously, sharing today's information with Li Yi. He also confirmed that today was indeed the third day of the complete process. We had only one day left. The day after tomorrow was our time to escape. However, we only had a clue about how to escape. Remembering today's class, I shared my analysis of the school's ecosystem with the three of them. Good children are the lowest rank and subservient to the night patrol monster. Teachers and the night patrol monster are adversaries. Good children can only assimilate and kill regular students by inducing and assisting the night patrol monster. Thinking about it, Rose analyzed, the teachers have always been a positive help to us. Are the teachers good? Look, Hannah began, the dormitory has always been dangerous only for regular students, and so far, it seems the academic building is only dangerous for good children. Moreover, all three locations, the dormitory, the academic building, and the cafeteria, have their unique bosses, and only the cafeteria has not seen any teacher-like or night patrol monster-like figures. After analyzing, we understood the power dynamics of this place. The dormitory is chaos, ruled by the night patrol monster and good children. The cafeteria is neutral, the staff pose no threat, and there's more information to uncover. The academic building represents order, with teachers belonging to this faction, helping regular students within the bounds of the rules. It seems the breakthrough for escape lies with the staff. With a goal in mind, we met again in the cafeteria that night. An anomaly occurred during dinner. The good children arrived at the cafeteria as usual, but stopped at the entrance. The cafeteria doors closed on time, the heavy rain poured down as usual, but the good children seemed unaffected. Outside in the rain, they stood facing the cafeteria, staring intently inside but not moving. Their figures were blurry and indistinct, eerily so. Rose, frightened, pulled us to the farthest corner of the cafeteria. Why aren't they entering the cafeteria? Hannah pondered. Typically, we first ask if something is true, then why. Lee adjusted his glasses and suggested, is it possible that it's not that they don't enter, but that they can't enter? Yes, and it's very likely. I thought hard. The cafeteria, as a neutral zone, became more apparent, and the good children from the Chaos faction were outright barred from entry. There are no instant death rules in the cafeteria. Suddenly, I remembered the number 2 on my back. I suggest we clarify everything tomorrow. I stood up. We have 8 opportunities left, and we can ask 4 questions today. Lee immediately understood my intention and volunteered. I'll start. Sure enough, he returned with a 1 on his back. Leah's question was, what is the cafeteria staff's off-duty procedure between 12:30 and 13:50? Answer, change out of work clothes and leave through the back kitchen. In this answer, leaving seemed to refer to leaving the cafeteria, but it likely meant leaving the school. And work clothes might represent an identity. The cafeteria staff, after changing out of work clothes, no longer had a valid identity in the school and could thus leave work, meaning students needed to take off their uniforms before leaving. From 12:30 to 13:50, take off the school uniform, leave through the back kitchen.
Thank you for taking the time to watch. If this video connected with you, I'd be grateful for your follow. Your likes and comments are not just numbers to me, they're a source of inspiration and encouragement. Your support truly means the world.